did they come back ready to play fast? How conditioned are they?
They're very well conditioned. The guys have been working very hard during the summer on their own and in the voluntary workouts, so that's not going to be an issue. And I think everybody's super eager to go on the first day of practice, and love to see them.
How would you describe speed kills? Comparing that, how do you describe it?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is obviously, being very fast, the pace of play, but it's more than that. It's more like a philosophy of being and everything we want to do. We don't want to waste anybody's time. We talked about this yesterday, I think, in the press conference, about that recovery is something that there's not a lot of in the NBA, so you just don't want to waste everybody's time. But it's also the quick decision making in different situations, and generally if you can be the faster party, it's going to be very difficult for the other team to keep up with you.
When you talk about speed and intensity demands, and you think about the way you coach in Europe versus here, are any allowances you feel like you have to make because of the 82-game schedule?
It's definitely different from like the recovery standpoint, but generally I actually think that the NBA teams play with a higher pace than the European teams. I think a lot of European teams are very organized in the half court, and by organized I mean they go a lot of the set plays, and I think the trend in the NBA has been to speed it up. So I don't really see a big difference in that.
We've spent a lot of time talking about offense and pace, but it was the defense that it seemed like really slipped late in the season last year. What sort of adjustments or things are you trying to do in order to make sure that the defensive standard can be upheld?
I mean, we first want to have a very clear identity on that and make sure everybody knows exactly what is expected of them, then do that thing, and then do it well and do it hard. And obviously we have a few defensive anchors, Zach and Jaren especially, who have superpowers on that end, and you want to definitely use those. And we have quite nice length with our wings, so we have on ball but also off ball. We're a little bit more athletic and longer on the wings, so just looking to utilize those things defensively, but have a very clear identity and clear ideas.
You mentioned the bigs who may miss some time potentially. Why was Jock a priority? Zach said he was a priority to get this offseason. Why was he a priority, and what do you think he can bring, right away?
Well, one of the things is Jock is a very experienced player. He's played in heavy pick and roll systems before. I mean, in Europe, he had two of the toughest coaches and very high level offensive organizers in Jasikevicius and Trinchieri. So I also followed him as a player back in Europe, and I think he has a track record of picking up different things and being able to play in a lot of different roles, and just knowing the health situation, we thought he was an extremely solid option, and also our discussions with him revealed that he was also very excited about the prospect of playing in that type of ecosystem. So I think it was a very good match for us.
In terms of thinking about how to maximize the talent you have on your team, are there any players particularly whose skill sets have been like a challenge to you in terms of thinking about how to incorporate them that may be different from things you were able to do previously in your career?
I wouldn't call it like a challenge, but it's like a positive problem. Like Zach's a very unique player type, for example. I think we found really nice ways of utilizing him even late in the season last year, and he's still growing a lot. But defensively, he's not a guy who's super versatile in what maybe the NBA has been trending towards, but he has big strengths and otherwise. And I think the challenge comes more from having different type of players in the same defensive role, and then how to optimize for those so that it's still simple for us but complex for the opponent, so that we know exactly what's going to happen, but for the opponent it looks like there is a lot of different options for us.
What about Jaren? Have you had players before who sort of mimic that position skill set sort of combo?
I mean, there aren't a lot of those
Right.
in the world, so no would be the answer. I mean, he's definitely a unicorn. He's one of the premier two-way bigs in the whole league. His rim protection is amazing when you combine that with his ability to stretch the floor. He's a walking double team on the court, and then you just think about, like, he still can improve a lot like there are a lot of aspects of his game that he can still do better. For example, screening and rolling, screening and popping out of that, but also the like having a little bit more defensive versatility. Like it's pretty intriguing and a great challenge for our coach to start thinking about like utilizing him because he's such a unique player.
Well, how much do you alter things you may have done in the past to account for that?
For sure, yes, absolutely. Like I think we talked about this yesterday, but it goes all the way back to like having the right personnel around him and Ja, then conceptually, you know, making sure that we build on the biggest strengths of our team, but also the practice methodology, how we get there with this like a shortened preseason, you know, a lot shorter preseason and also less time in between the games. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects we're thinking how to optimize our key guys.
Do you have goals for the team beyond the national championship? Goals for specific aspects of the team or dimensions, offense, defense, or specific players that you were thinking about today or in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would, like when you talk about goals, a lot of like, usually people talk about results. I've always been more inclined to talk about the process goals of how we go about every day and what are some of the expectations, what is the identity that we want to play with, you know, what is the type of culture we want to build.
Is that a conversation between you and the team, or is that something
For sure.
that you are?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're in this together. You know, it doesn't work that way anymore. That the coach comes in and says these are the things that are important. Like we've been trying to get through a message, and I think it's been very fruitful that they are both the thinkers and the doers, and it's our job to help them win. You know, the coaches can't score 1 point in a game. Our value comes from helping whatever 5-man unit is out there to win the game. So we are trying to offer them advice and how to do things, and they have a lot more buy-in when they are included in that process. So.
Coach, to that end, how would you describe the day one objective of training camp? You guys prepared for this day for a long time, and now to finally get here, what did you hope to accomplish today, and what did you guys get done?
Yeah, it starts from very practical things like some new drills or new games and getting the different rules and the parameters there, and then just establishing a culture of like high standards and a working culture, and otherwise it's pretty simple. You look at the different phases of the game, and kind of this beginning phase is just putting the skeleton in. So everybody has a clear idea what the primary principles are in each phase of the game, and then you can start to branch out of those once you see that the basics are there.
And then, you know, obviously Ja's pretty much locked in, but until Jaren and Zach get back, how much is there competition going into this training camp for those other positions right now?
Hopefully there's a ton of competition. That's the whole point. That's the whole point here. We are both, you know, cooperation and competition. Those are the two things. The guys are cooperating together in their lineups to compete with others, and we're looking for guys who can make the team better and help the team win the most. And those guys will be the players that play, and everybody, you know, sees that there's always a silver lining also with the injuries. You have somebody who can maybe step into that void and show something that he hasn't been able to show in the past. So I think it's a great opportunity, and when I look at that practice, I see all the guys who are on the court trying to show what they can do, and that's a great feeling.
Do you want to shout anyone out from the first day? Anyone who impressed you specifically? Anyone who's been working hard in the offseason specifically?
I mean, they've all been working very hard in the offseason, you know, and they knew that the demands were going to be high when the training camp starts, and we've had great discussions throughout the summer, and I've just been overall impressed with the whole group. Not just to how they work, but also how open they are to new experiences. I mean, they could say at any point like, hey, this is not how we've done it before or how I've had success before, but I think everybody realizes that in order to get different results from the other teams, you also have to do some things better or different than all the 29 other teams, and they've been super open.
What are some of those things that you're referring to there?
Well, just maybe things that you see from time to time from other teams. Let's say playing with extremely high pace all of the time, some offensive rebounding concepts or defensive pickups or different ball screen coverages. You know, everybody has more generally, everybody has kind of a sweet spot where they want to stay, and one of our, you know, core expectations is learn new things. So, like, what I mean with the putting in the skeleton, it's like creating a common language on the court, and that means everybody needs to learn.
How was Cedric Howard's first day, and what's going to be expected of him early in the year?
Cedric has been very positive, and you know, is a very bright young man, and a great presence to be around. His physicality, length, skill, athleticism, it's a you know, incredible combination, and he's also, have to understand that I think last time he played was in November, so he's been some of the first runs, you know, almost after a year's break. So there's no like timeline when Ced will be, you know, at his best. He's filling in all the expectations that we have for him, that have to do more with the process than any specific goal.
Is he coming along slowly physically? Are you guys limiting any of his activities because of the
No,
time off?
he's not limited at all. He's complete, can do everything what the other guys can do too, and he's in great physical shape.
Do you have any plans? Yeah, do you have any plans in Nashville while you're here? You know, some of us are Nashville-based media. We're curious what people, when they come visit.
Yeah, I've been here a couple of times. It's a really nice city.
Restaurants or?
I might go check out restaurants for sure. I might go check out there's a Finnish goalie here who has a statue in front of the ice hockey arena, so maybe I'll go there.
Thanks, Coach.